Good morning, afternoon, or night, my friends. Organic ones too, I suppose. This is Papatron, the concerned alien parent, and today I'm going to talk to you about regrets, moving on, and improving yourself. Arrogance topples giants. Regret is an acid that will melt your soul. Admitting your own mistakes is just as hard as coming to understand somebody else, especially your enemy. So let's start with regret. We all at one point or another have done something that we ended up regretting, whether it was a bad decision, betraying someone, not thinking things through, some sort of an accident, something we did, a lack of action, so on and so forth. Some regrets are easy to get over. You didn't eat a whole breakfast, you ate too much, you didn't buy that one hilarious shirt, you had to cancel on someone. In about a week or so, you won't even remember. Then there are regrets that will eat you alive. They will crush your soul under pressure. You weren't a better husband or father, you put zero effort into hanging out with your friends, let somebody down, the list goes on and on. Maybe something happened to you. So how do you move on? How do you deal? How do you let go? The answers will vary greatly. Not just from person to person, from problem to problem. Some live without regrets. Some brush them off. Others let them define the remainder of their lives. One of the biggest things we have to come to terms with is that the past cannot be changed. What is done is done. But what about now? What about the future? Finally, there's hope because yes, you can change that. And that will be a major factor to moving on. You weren't a good spouse or paramour? Start now. Not tomorrow. Now. Do research. Get help. Learn how to communicate better. Take responsibility for what you did or didn't do. But first you need to learn how to apologize. When I say how to apologize, I do not mean just saying I'm sorry or I apologize. Those are just words. They don't mean much of anything. You can say sorry and apologize a billion times over, but it won't actually remedy anything or do anything at all whatsoever. So what do I mean when I say learn how to apologize? A real apology will have you put effort into not only putting legitimate effort into fixing the situation, but also do your best to prevent it from ever happening again. That's a real apology. Actions speak louder than words. Here is something that some people don't seem quite to understand. You can also apologize to yourself. You can make it up to everybody who got wronged because of you, but what about you? Don't forget about you. Don't forget that you're not just an amalgamation of pain and mistakes. You have hopes, you have fears, dreams and nightmares, hobbies and dislikes, a history and a future, wants and desires, opinions, emotions. Regret and pain are just small, tiny parts of who and what you are. They don't have to take over like some sort of a cancer. Let's take a short break and we'll be back right after these messages. It's the morning. You just woke up and you have to roll for initiative. That first roll will determine how the rest of your day goes. Do you keep failing the rolls every day? How many times did it feel like you rolled a 1? Well, no more. With D20 coffee, you don't need to worry. It will be like you rolled a 20 every time, every day. The people behind this product proudly stand for maximum quality and guaranteed satisfaction while bringing you great variety at affordable prices. No matter what bean it is or how you want it, you can rest assured it will be done to the highest standards and handled with the greatest of care. All you have to do is go to the shop section, Select your desired brew, indicate whether you want whole bean or ground, and your quantity. Before you know it, you'll have a new fantastic way to improve your day. Be sure to check out their Facebook and Instagram pages. They love memes, and so do we. Don't forget to join their mailing list to get the latest scoops on upcoming sales, hottest coffee trends, and new arrivals. But wait, there's more! Apply the coupon code Papatron, and not only will you get a discount, you will also help support my channel. And remember, if it is not from D20 Brewers, it might as well be in the sewers. That's www.d20brewers.com. 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 And now, let's get back to the video. While some people go through life without a single regret, some of you may not be able to move on so easily. And that is why you need to remember that there are people who love you, who care and want to be there for you. Now, of course, none of this would ever be possible without understanding the situation that has transpired, its context, which is extremely crucial, and just as importantly, our limitations and what were the expectations, admitting guilt where necessary. How many people you know have ever admitted any of those things? Probably not that many at all, if ever. A lot of people have fragile egos. Some have no humility. Some think that their ignorance is just as good as someone's education and effort. There are a number of reasons why people do it, and it's really not limited to what I just said. And that brings us to a major point. We can't force people to change for the better. We can't force help on someone. Becoming better, improving yourself is an uphill battle as it is. You have to fight your habits. You have to fight your behavior, how you think. You're essentially fighting yourself. There are extremely important conditions that need to be met before any sort of healing or therapy can even ever take place. And that is absolutely imperative to understand. There's nuance, there's timing to everyone's case that we may not fully understand, even if we think we know what's going on pretty well. When it comes down to getting your self-help or somebody else help, there's a time, a place, a way. There are a lot of details to consider. Because if the help ends up being forced, you're gonna deal more damage than you can possibly even imagine sometimes. And that's scary. Now, let's take a look at a couple of issues that I think a lot of people will be able to understand quite well. Smoking and losing weight. People choose to quit smoking for a bunch of reasons, and for a bunch of reasons, it is genuinely really hard to do. Do they want to fail kicking the habit? No. Is it hard to quit? If it was easy to quit smoking, if it was as easy to quit smoking as 1, 2, 3 light the Christmas tree, we wouldn't have self-help material, support programs, and products available to help exactly with that. Remember one of my favorite things to say? Road to success is paved with failure. Every time you fail, you can choose to get wiser, smarter, and tougher. You try again, and your chances are better than ever before. It truly is a matter of time before you succeed. You just got to keep trying. You just need to figure out what works and what doesn't work and come up with some sort of a path for you to walk to reach that goal. Another example is weight loss. It is an issue that comes extremely close to home to me because of the abuse I suffered, low confidence, self-loathing, and dear goodness, who knows what else I had. I regret getting fat. I ended up treating my body like garbage. I had no diet. I horked food down my throat. I tried dozens upon dozens of times, and I finally did it. Compared to last year, I lost 10 kilograms. I tried a bunch of diets, I tried different weight loss programs, I performed research, and I tried to implement, to create that path that I mentioned earlier, and I saw results. Does it feel good? Yes! Can I control this aspect of my life now? With difficulty, but yes! Did I come out of this wiser and tougher than before? Absolutely! There are tons of people that did it. Tons! They have done the research. They wanted to improve. They tried a whole ton of new things. Did they fail? Yes, of course they failed. But they have succeeded at the end of the day. They were courageous enough to keep trying again and again and again. These people went against their very own self. They rewired their brain. They altered their behavior. They changed their lifestyle. Is it hard to think about how you think? Yes, of course it is. And yet we can change it. With great effort, with difficulty, but we can. That's incredible. And if we do it, it's commendable. If left unchecked and untreated, regret and all these other negative emotions will turn us feeling sorry for ourselves. And eventually we will develop a victim mentality. I would know, I developed a bit of a victim mentality for a while, and it was really hard to get rid of. It was really hard to get out of this mindset. As a finer point, let's go over why victim mentality can never lead to self-improvement. It hinges all of your problems coming from all sources except for yourself. You can't force people to become better. You can't force people to open their minds, as we've already covered. If you do not consider that you had a role to play, how are you supposed to move forward? You can't move forward if you don't ask yourself, what did I do to contribute to this situation? As a bit of a classical example, there's news. Some years ago, every time I got home from work, I was happy and ready to sit down and eat and spend time with my family. My wife, on the other hand, wouldn't stop reading all those news channels on a daily basis about how people were killed, how people were raped and wronged in the most horrible ways, and complained about how stressed she was constantly. Finally, after some intervention, she stopped looking at the news, and within days, she was so much happier. There was an issue. She realized how she was contributing to the issue, and she applied a fix. And the fix had worked. While our lives depend to varying degrees on other people in our societies and communities, we can exercise a certain amount of control over our own lives. It starts by taking action, personal responsibility. We all depend on doctors, accountants, our friends, families, police officers, bus drivers, so on and so forth. And to say that you have zero influence over anything that happens to you is ludicrous. You can choose to switch doctors, and you can try to switch doctors. You may not be successful, but the point is that you tried. Those are your actions that you tried to take. Those are the fixes that you tried to implement. You are trying to take responsibility for yourself and improve that aspect of your life. Your accountant is doing a sloppy work on your taxes and takes forever to get it done. Change accounting firms. Change an accountant as an action you can take. Maybe not entirely successfully, but you can at the very least try. A question we absolutely must ask ourselves is, why would anyone put their time and effort into us if we do not put time and effort into ourselves? There's a perfect way to get advantage of or outright brainwashed. How much of your life would you be living then? Not to say that you can't be loved or shouldn't be loved, but you have to consider everyone that wants to be involved with you. True friends and family will do whatever they can to help you. Always. That's what makes them true. It may not be motivational per se. You may be questioning it, you may be not understanding why they would do it, but at the very least, it is a good reason to try and start putting your life back together. Going through all of this, the process of analysis, realizing issues, how to fix them, and applying gradually, little by little, gives you more and more courage. Not power, courage. The power was already there in some measure or another. What you get is far better, arguably. You get courage. You're more daring to challenge not just others and not just yourself, but the status quo. You're not afraid to make some noise and fight for a better life. Courageous people end up facing just about anything life can throw at them. Other courageous people will help them stand. Why would anybody stand with you if you do not want to stand for yourself? You'll be lucky if anyone will ever even want to be around you for even a short time. I live in North America. That's USA and Canada. Countries where all I have to do is ask for help and I will be directed where to get for that help. Granted, I do a little bit of research to make sure that I'm directed to an appropriate place. I have access to libraries, legal services, programs, networks built specifically to help people help themselves so that we all can move on to bigger, better things. It has gotten so easy as to the government dumping opportunities on your lap by creating their positive action legislation, outright forcing changes into the hiring process that rarely benefit both employee and employer. To me, someone who lived in Russia, visited a number of countries, and lived here for many years, it feels like sometimes this should be illegal not to use this great wealth of information and cornucopia of knowledge and resources. How can you not assimilate into a culture that offers this much freedom and the means, the resources for everyone to become virtually anything that they want? Improving yourself and getting better is not an impossible task. It may be extremely hard. There may be barriers that may be blocking your way that yourself may not be able to take down, but it doesn't mean you get to stop. It doesn't mean that the help is not there. With self-improvement, you get tougher, wiser, you grow a thick skin. Things don't get to you as much. You are better at telling what isn't a problem and how to solve them quickly and efficiently. You keep pushing for a better life because you got that courage. Little by little, day by day, you put effort into this. You'll be able to face yourself and come out on top. Will you fail? Make mistakes and stumble still? Yes, but less and less of it will be things that you can't fix, so you can walk and talk proud every day. And the same goes for facing people that will get in your way. It will be that much easier for you to handle them little by little, day by day, if you put effort into this. Before I wrap this up, I wanted to make mention of people in much more hardcore professions than just warehousing. I want to recognize people of the emergency services, medical, military, and other bodies. They may not always be facing hell, and they do have training, but if those careers were as easy as, oh, just walk it off, we won't need to give them the so needed support. Over the past few years, I got to know a lot of veterans, and some of the stories I ended up hearing were beyond brutal. They were beyond imagination. It wasn't just shocking to find out just how bad it gets out there, how these brave men and women end up fighting not just in other countries but on their own home soil, sometimes in the proverbial backyard. The world would have been a much darker, bleaker, and scarier place without the courage and strength of these individuals. Think about how much these people have to deal with, how they move on, how sometimes they need help moving on. I guess ultimately all of it comes down to do not give up. You can do it. Your problems may not be as bad as somebody else's, but they are your problems and they're real to you. Get smart. Be honest with yourself. Solve your problems. Improve yourself. Move on to bigger, better things. Help and encourage others on your way. Do you have regrets? How did you deal with them? How did you change your behavior? Did you need help? Is it better that you ran into these issues to improve yourself? Or would it have been better if you never faced these issues to begin with? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so very much for watching. If you liked my content, please leave a like, subscribe, and hit that bell button. And I'll see you in the next talk. Till all are fun.